So hi
Yeah,
guys, I would like to can you just start with your own introduction?
definitely. Hi, I'm Dhruv Sani. I'm the co-founder of Bilzi. I'm currently a master's student at the University of Glasgow, and my hobbies include watching cartoons. And I'm not
Okay,
from a
that's
tech background, despite being the co-founder of Bilzi. Tech freaks me out.
oh yeah, yeah. But actually, that's what I gave you the idea, right? Like not being from the tech background, you get to know like what are the problems that people not from the tech background face.
So that is precisely why I joined this journey with Akshat when he pitched me this idea back. Because me being from an absolute no tech background, and literally I'm so afraid of things that require any technical thing. Like in the beginning of the lockdown and everything, this whole virtual environment was so I did not even know how to make a Zoom meeting for at least 2 months when we had started working. I had to request Akshat, or maybe back then we had interns, so I used to ask interns that please can you make me a Zoom link and send to me. I was that bad
And
at it.
I can actually relate on that because even I'm from a finance background, so tech background, I'm like completely zero at it. What about you, Akshat? Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, yeah. So currently I'm doing a bachelor's from HR college. So I'm a tech enthusiast. And yeah, so that's all, I guess.
Because
The
like
interesting
just
the
to place
interesting part is Akshat is also pursuing banking and finance, and he's not from a formally tech background. He's just a tech enthusiast, and that's, I think, really fascinating.
So how did you guys like come together with this idea? I mean, both of you like you guys are not totally from the tech background, so it is very difficult to come up with the idea where like there are two people who are not from tech background and they have an idea totally about the tech. So can you tell me about that?
So I think Akshat, you should.
So it started many years back. I was making a website for my family business. Yeah, we have a pharmaceutical business. So I was making a website for my. Then I faced the problem. The website builders like GoDaddy and which are very costly, cost around 7 to 8 thousand a year, and it was not really a good website. So yeah, I faced that problem. I found a solution. Like yeah, I named it something else. Yeah, but I found a solution. And then when I met Dhruv, he also had the same problem.
So
He
even
had
I
no
was,
idea.
running.
So yeah,
Even
that's
I
when
had
we
a blog
started.
back then. I'm very fascinated about writing and everything, but I eventually gave up blogging because these builders were so complex to use and no tech background. So plus they did not really look nice. Like it was very juvenile look. The designs were very kiddish, and so that is why when Akshat and I met at an e-summit in IIT Bombay, we just clicked, we just networked together, and somehow some days later we sat down together, and somehow this problem came up. And then Akshat said like, okay, I've been researching this since many years, and I have this solution that maybe maybe we can compile and put together. And so that is basically how the ball went rolling. We actually, it was the second seminar that we had gone to, that was also in Mumbai, and that was such a I wouldn't say bad seminar, but unengaged, that we sneaked out of it, and instead we sat down in the cafeteria discussing this idea.
Oh, that's cool actually. So when did you guys like actually come up with the whole, how can I say it like in a more professional way? Like first it's just the idea between two friends. So how did I actually convert into a
So
full-fledged
yeah,
startup?
that first meeting on that particular event venue was a major thing that set the ball rolling. But on instance, if you say, there is this one particular date, and I don't think we'll ever be able to forget that, because it's such a unique date. 14th of February, the Valentine's Day.
Mhm.
So what do people do on that day? So 14th February 2020, we didn't really have any plans. We had met at the Mitti Bhai canteen, just for food and stuff, and somehow that lunch turned up into such an intense discussion that we stayed uh, at the college for about 6 hours, and we made our business plan. We even designed our cards, we made our website, we bought our domain, and in that 6 hours we came out of the college with our business cards, because the next day we had already found a trade fair to go to, and so we needed business cards immediately. So just spontaneously that thing took shape.
It's like really just wow, within 6 hours coming up with your entire business model in hand. It's like really something possible. So, like, what about your family? Like, did they support you in the beginning with that? Like, did you guys tell them about it and they supported you anything?
Yes, so we were very lucky that way. So, our families were,
Our family.
see, technically we come from a business background. I think both of our families have businesses set up. So they kind of understood our enthusiasm. Plus, we're not totally novice to this. Like before I met Akshat, Akshat had already been involved in a lot of ventures. He'd undertaken projects. The same was with me, so we sort of had that thing. So Akshat will maybe tell you, he already had, I think, some online businesses that he was involved with.
Yeah, before Buildsy, I had a similar business. It was, you can say, a copy of GoDaddy. I used to sell domains, I used to sell hosting, and all the services which GoDaddy used to sell back then. So I had the same business. So yeah, my family were like, okay, you are doing the same thing again.
So it was particularly difficult to
So
explain
then,
to
how
them
did
what a
they take
website
forward?
builder is.
Actually, nowadays
So
parents usually they don't get the idea of everything online.
no, because when you say that website, it's a thing. When you say domain, maybe it's a thing. What's a website builder? I mean, that is a definition that it's so much difficult to even explain to our peers who are from the non-tech background. So just imagine trying to explain it to our parents that what a website builder, what that software is that we're trying to
Yeah.
create, what is going to be a revenue model. So that was initially very tricky, but they were like, okay, you know your stuff, you just do it.
Still, many of my friends say, yeah, I make websites. Yeah. They are like, yeah, ये
Yeah.
तो बनाता है और कुछ नहीं. They are like, yeah.
So one more thing is there. I read it in your on your website on Wilsey. It is like you guys are bringing in something called as no code revolution. So can you just elaborate more on that? Like what is it exactly all about?
So we all know the very famous ads that were launched by a particular brand, um, you know, trying to solicit 5-year-old kids to start learning coding and stuff.
Yeah, I got that.
I do not really have a problem with coding, and I do believe that coding is a language that is very important. But the no code revolution is not an anti against coding. We see it particularly as a level playing field, that even if someone does not know how to code, they should not be deprived of some basic technological features that they might otherwise have. Because otherwise, if I want to create a blog, if I'm a business, or I want to create a website, an e-commerce store, which now has become much more relevant and important, I have to either pay huge sums to a developer who might exploit me because I don't know what actually goes in it, or secondly, I'll have to learn coding from scratch. So that doesn't quite seem fair. So our no code revolution formula was very simple, that we create technology, and Buildsy, the website builder, was one of the things. um, we'd be happy to share a single line that we are also working towards maybe a no code app builder, which we might have maybe in a couple of years if things go well. So it's a basic thing, like a lot of customization. Okay, maybe you'll have to code it, but a basic feature that everyone has or everyone needs in a website, I don't think if I don't know coding, I should be deprived of that right. So that was the essence of the no code revolution, that it's okay if you do not know coding, you won't be left behind. We do not want to go with the FOMO that, okay, if you don't know coding, there's no future for you. So that's the operative that we run with.
It's actually really great. Like for people like us, it is like a golden opportunity for our own website. So, what
Exactly.
is this one thing that you guys wish that you knew before starting your business?
So one of the most interesting things was, we had so I had my exams planned in March. So we had thought that once mid March our exams get over, we'd directly sit and do the work. And just then the COVID scenario happened and we all migrated home. Now adapting to that virtual environment was, wow. I mean, that one thing was, that actually delayed our launch by 2 months.
Yeah.
We were supposed to launch in April. We ultimately launched in July. The other factor that played a role here, that we might have, maybe if we knew, it would have helped us, was realizing that there's a legal cost involved,
Legal
the
cost.
legal proceedings. So I don't think many of these even workshops or trainings that happen on campuses. See, even I was a part of my e-cell back in Metibai. The thing is that we always tell entrepreneurs, get an idea, we focus on the marketing, we focus on HR, we focus on leadership strategy, everything. But something very fundamental that we forget is, uh, we forget to factor in the legal cost, the incorporating cost, or why it is necessary, why registering with the government schemes is necessary, why registering under Startup India, how that legally protects you, how to copyright, patent your softwares. So these things were something that we did not majorly factor in our initial business plan. And the process was complex. It took us nearly 2 months to complete all the paperwork and everything, since it was all virtual as well, so it was a compounded effect. So I think
It
that is
became
one
so
thing.
virtual. Yeah. That Dhruv is living in Jamshedpur. I'm living in Madhya Pradesh, and our company is registered in Mumbai.
Oh, so how did you
So
guys actually connect? And I think you being from the first year, it would have been difficult to connect with somebody who's already passed out, right? Like, I don't know how to explain it, but how did you guys get on the same page with things?
so yeah, as we said that we were both into entrepreneurship for long, and we met at an entrepreneurship fair only at IIT.
So we had similar mindset. So yeah, it was pretty easy for us to go forward with this.
So how did you cope up with your studies? Like studies are also going on, that is also online. With that, you were doing your startup also everything online. So how did you like manage all that, specifically during this
So
pandemic? When everybody is home and you were so mind blocked.
it gets pretty difficult for us. Yeah. Sometimes, many times, I have to miss my lectures, but my college is very supportive with this. Yeah. I miss my lectures. Sometimes I have to miss my meetings for my lectures. Yeah. So it gets difficult sometimes, but yeah, we
So
manage.
what was uh, like what was the initial roadblock for you guys, and how did you overcome it? Like because I don't think it would have been all rainbows and sunshine since the beginning. Obviously, there would have been a lot of flaws.
Yeah, there were many roadblocks. Like, yeah, we started, we ran a beta version of Buildsy in June. So, yeah, we had a network. So, yeah, 2, 3 clients came in. We were really happy. And when we launched in July, then issues start coming in. It was not easy to manage customers online. So yeah, we were new platform, so we didn't knew what the issues were. So yeah, many were like, yeah, we are not able to log in on your website. The mails are not showing in. So these small things were became a major issue for us.
I
So
think
how was it
customers.
getting over with it? Because connecting with the clients is also one of the major tasks when you can't meet them like one on one, right?
Yeah.
So
So
how did you guys manage?
no, we used to set up Zoom links for each and every client. We used to sit with clients for hours to solve their problems in the starting.
Okay. So I believe that you guys have learned a lot from each other, like over this period of 1.5 year or 2 years at the most. So, what is this one thing that you would like to learn from Dhruv? And the same question goes to Dhruv.
Uh, he's very calm while working.
What about you, Dhruv? What is the one thing that you learned from Akshat? Okay, moving on. So, did you guys have like a junior senior relationship, or is it was it like more of a friendly based relationship when you guys started this?
Friendly based relationship it was.
So you never felt that, oh my God, he's a senior to me, so I have to listen to him, or I have to follow him or something.
No, it was never like that. Yeah, it was very friendly between us.
Oh, that's good. So, what is the one advice that you would actually like to give the parents whose children are pursuing for startup? Because even though we are in a startup culture right now, even though we are in a startup culture right now, there are a lot of parents who oppose to the idea of their children doing startup. Like they would rather prefer that their children have a stabilized job and do that something. So, what would you say to the parents?
Parents should let the children give a try to their startups. Yeah,
Can you
that.
elaborate more?
Mm. Like that's what I would like to say. At least parents should listen to their children. And nowadays there are many incubation centers which counsel their parents. Like many uh, under smart city project, there are many incubation centers set up just similar to Atal incubation centers. They are counseling the parents to let the students run their own startups.
So, what is the one thing that kept you guys going on it? Because we usually see that a lot of youngsters like us who come up with idea, they follow it for like let's say 6 months or year at the most, and then they go back to like, okay, it's not happening. Let's just stick to our studies and we'll get a job. So, what would you like to say to them? Because you guys have come a long way.
Yeah. Our parents and our friends supported us a lot. Like, yeah, uh, I remember one time I wrote rapper Bilzy on my whiteboard, and my mom came in and she was like, "What are you doing?" Like, she read rapper Bilzy and she started shouting and like, "What are you doing? You came a long way, Abhita. Then why are you doing this?" Yeah. So they supported my friends. They motivate me. Dhruv motivates me. I motivate Dhruv. It's like, yeah. So that kept us going.
So, who are the people who actually influenced you the most? Like the people you look up to in your life, like generally.
In general, my parents, like, yeah, I learned most of my business plans and how to run a business from my dad. He's doing business for like 35 years now. So, yeah, he gives me advice and all the things, how to go forward with things.
I see a lot. You like a lot connected to your parents comparatively. Like we see the stereotypes that children our age are not very connected. So
No,
that's actually good to know.
yeah.
I think. What is the myth that you face? Like there might be some myths, like you are doing startup, so people might have said, "Kya startup kehta hai? Let's get back. This won't work for too long." So how did you tackle those kind of problems?
No, many my friends are like, yeah, ये सब क्या कर रहे है तू भी मतलब अगर बिजनेस ही करना है तो पापा के साथ चले जा वही ज्वाइन कर ले वही कर ले why are you doing this so yeah I started thinking कि yeah why am I doing this क्योंकि in the starting there were no profits we were not able to make break even in the first 2 months it's very difficult but yeah it kept us going not only me Dhruv also because yeah, we started seeing a change. The entrepreneurs which got connected with Buildsy, the influencers, the freelancers, they it was a life changing experience for them, because I remember many of our clients used to make websites for 10,000 rupees a year, and we offered them website for 700 rupees a year. So yeah, it was very easy for
That's
them. Yeah.
I am
so
extremely
what is
sorry.
there might be things that people misunderstood about you guys, right? So what were the misunderstandings that people had regarding your business ideas, and how did you make them actually understand them? Because it is not very easy to make people understand that I am not from a tech background, but my entire startup is based on that. So how did you guys do that?
I don't think that is the major issue. The biggest misconception that people have is, okay, these guys, they're just designing websites.
Yeah.
That is the idea. Like, okay, you're just, the ones who create websites. So that's it. You just sell domains, you just do that. That's it. So that concept of really website builder or a software, that it's our indigenous software, it's our own platform that we've created. We still that we still face that difficulty, explaining that to people.
So how do you guys actually explain? Because I don't think that many people yet have understood about it. Like I got the idea, like what you are saying, but it's still
So
a little
yes,
bit
yes.
difficult.
So even according to the data that we searched while doing our market research was, there's not enough market penetration in even the existing players that were there before us, the website builders. The people that used it was somewhere aware of the platforms, or somewhere aware of technology, or had a background in technology. It was only those people who used to use those platforms in the first place. Like WordPress was the most common, but it is the most complex as well. So it was really out of sight that anyone else used WordPress for other than blogging. So I think blogging was the extent for
Yeah.
everyone before that. And that issue still remains. So it's a challenge for us. We still try to frame our content currently. Like I think this is in the pipeline currently. We're trying to launch Buildsy Academy. It will be a free academy which will have some short courses that will particularly target these issues. It is aimed at creating short courses on our platform on the no code technology, and what essentially these platforms are and how they work, and how anyone without a background can just get started without any knowledge. So we currently plan to keep it a free and open source knowledge platform, because we've understood that it's not just a um, academy that we want to launch. It's sort of product literacy that we want to get through to our potential clients.
So that is what your future plans are like with Binsey.
So that is one of the things that is one of the things that is in the pipeline currently. We have some certain interesting
So
other
the other
projects.
things you guys are planning.
I'm sorry, your voice cracked.
What are the other things you guys are planning, like other than this part? Like what is the other things you want your business to extend into?
So currently, the public answer is that we're just trying to capture overseas market. Beyond that, we're really trying to keep it down on what our
Yeah.
internal projects are, unless they're ready and we are ready for a big bang launch.
Good luck for
In
that.
fact, we thought that using this platform we could just show the viewers in sharing the screen. Akshat could just walk you through how simple and how quickly you can make a website on Buildgy, like barely 5 minutes.
So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you can go ahead with that.
So yeah, I'm joining in my other device.
He'll be sharing the screen from that.
Okay, so we can move on till then. So,
Yeah.
how did you, Dhruv, manage your work-life balance? Like you're doing masters right now, right? So, like doing masters
Yeah,
along with that, going on with your startup, I don't think it is like easy at all.
no, it's definitely not easy. In fact, I am here sitting and I haven't slept last night because I was studying, and then we had some client calls in the morning, and then we had this podcast, and even after this podcast we have a couple of client calls that I have to go to physically. So there are nights that we have to just skip this night sort of a thing.
So, how are
So
you
it's
meeting
definitely
clients
not
right now?
easy.
Because
So we over the lockdown period, I managed to get some local clients here, some corporates and startups itself. So I see. I told you I'm not a tech guy. I am more of a client facing and a more forward facing guy. And the client servicing issue that Akshat highlighted, that online, it is still such a hassle. I prefer to just meet my clients or meet anyone. Just give me 10 minutes face to face with them, and definitely there's going to be either a deal if it's a deal meeting, or if there's any conflict that's going to be resolved. So that is the level of confidence I have on a physical meeting. Virtual environment, not so much. So I prefer to meet clients as much as possible and just get it done with. That's sort of my strong suit. That's that's the basic idea.
what yet keeps you inspiring, to go with your masters also and do this also? Like
So
either
I
you
had
could have
already.
thought, I'm not sure, but I think you would have thought about the idea of dropping one of these, like either drop your startup or drop your masters.
Yes, yes, yes. The lockdown was a very, what do you call it, a roller coaster ride, because I was supposed to go in back in September only last year. And in fact, I got my offer for masters. I got my scholarship offer 1 month before we sat down and even started Buildsy. So I got it in January, and in February, actually, Akshat and I started the ball rolling. So I already had my masters pre-planned. Then Buildsy came along, and in fact, in this regard, the lockdown and that prolonged period was a boon for us, because it gave us time to work on this project and make it up and running and stabilize it before I moved to the UK. And I think we've been able to capture that and make use of that time.
Okay, okay, that's pretty cool. So what is
So
the
I
one
think,
thing that you learned from Akshat, like him being your junior?
I'm sorry, I did not get your question.
I just asked that what did you learn from Akshat? Like he was your junior, right? So there was a lot of things
Yes.
like
uh
me learning from you, you learning from me.
I mean, the there's a lot to learn from Akshat. The fact that he's not from formally engineering background, and he's pulled off the whole product himself, because I had literally no role to play in the product. All of that technical stuff is a very, very inspiring stuff. But beyond that, there's one particular quality that I really like about him, and that's his attitude. God, he's like smiling every time. You give him any problem, like our servers might be literally on the verge of fire, and he'll be like, "Arey, we'll do it. And he'll literally be smiling like that at any situation. And that's actually, that's a very powerful thing that maybe it's very difficult to comprehend or put words to. But when everyone is losing their mind, one person who's like, okay, he's just calm and he's just happy. There are situations where it isn't your fault, some things happen, but you are sort of the in the place to fix it. And when you do that with a smile, without the rhetoric or blame game that today we see, that it was not my fault, this guy just smiles and he's like, okay, I'll do this, I'll do that. Like, there's no that attitude, really. It's massive and inspiring. It keeps us together.
Okay, that's pretty cool actually. Honestly, it is like really good that you guys go well together. That is the reason it actually succeeded. One of them, I could say.
So
What
I think that
influenced you?
that's strange, right? If you think when we started our company, Akshat and I knew each other for barely 50 days before that. We did not know each other, and then we went back homes. So literally, it was like we were sitting in our homes in different states, in different parts of the country, and we're trusting each other by forming a company. So that takes
Yeah,
a lot of trust.
that is like
You
quite
can
difficult. Like nowadays, people are not even able to maintain like proper friendship for 5 days, and
exactly,
you guys like
exactly.
this is really
See,
great. Like seriously.
even we think of that and we're like, okay, oh wow, that was something really strong.
What is the one like moment like other than the 14th February, as you guys said, like after your entire business was established, what was that one moment when you guys finally felt, oh my God, we've come so far. Like this was not something that we expected.
So it was not anywhere in the beginning when we launched. It was much after, I think 3 months after, when we started getting clients from Europe, US. We got clients from the US, we got clients from Philippines, we got people from Argentina reaching out to us to buy our product, and that was the
Yeah.
time like we were like, okay man, okay, we're going stuff, we're going places, we're just getting started.
Yeah, I remember we used to sit at night, like 2, 3 a.m., and we used to have Zoom meetings with our Argentina clients, with our Europe clients,
Crazy.
to teach them how to use our product. We used to sit with them for 1 hour to solve their doubts. So yeah, that was a moment when we were like, yeah, we are going forward somewhere now.
That was an everyday routine.
So how about like like emotionally being sane, like having your idea, along with that, you guys having your own studies, and on top of that, the pandemic. Like, how did you guys keep like maintain your sanity throughout entire thing? Like, it is impossible to do that.
So on my personal part, I didn't really stretch out on studies. I mean, pandemic or not, business or not, I'm the guy who studies like 2 hours barely before the exam, and I do fine. So I don't really stress on studies much because I have a genuine interest in finance. So I don't really, so the subjects don't really stress me out in that regard. The pandemic was freaky. Like just now, I was logged out. I don't know, it was an internet connection or a Zoom issue. I mean, I'm still not well versed with all of this and this working environment. In fact, just before the podcast, where we had a client call, and right after the client left, Akshat and I were discussing like we've got to get into an office space. This virtual thing is not going to get us that speed that we hope.
How about you, Akshat? How did you maintain your sanity?
So yeah, we got demotivated a lot, like when we were doing. So yeah, had we used to had calls at night. Like yeah, I used to call Dhruv at 11 in the night and used to talk till 4 in the morning, so that we get back in line. We were like so mad. We were like, yeah, kya ho raha hai? Like what we are doing in life now because of the lockdown. We were like, yeah, we used to overthink a lot, and we were like, yeah, what we are doing. And then yeah, I used to talk to Dhruv for 4 5 hours straight, and then we were like, yeah, let's get back to business.
So we had this. There were a lot of
Thank you.
when our launch got delayed. That was particularly a stressing moment for us, and especially for Akshat, because at that moment he was the only guy who was working the hardest, because that was the product development stage that was going on. All I was doing was looking after the legal, which was not an easy cake, because everything, but there's no ease of doing business in India. Uh, but that was a particular time. But I
So how did you like
just
still keep on going with that?
Yeah, so that is what. So we suddenly, in the midst of the lockdown, sitting at our homes, we got a very interesting project uh, from UNICEF, and that just came outright to us through a link of networks, and that project sort of gave us a boost, and it also helped us, come cope up with the overwhelming stress that we were having, that we were not moving ahead. So we did a little bit of technical work for them, and that was pretty much the project that brought back the excitement in the game at that stage.
So how did you like not get affected by your peers? Because I believe like being from the same age group, it is very, 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 very easy to get influenced by your peers to just chalna time pass karte rather than doing all this serious stuff that will help you out in future. You would rather go and have a chat in canteen with your friends, come back, do the lecture, go home. So how did you guys do that and not come into peer pressure?
So I think that way COVID was a blessing to us because we didn't really have a choice. So yeah, in the initial days, when everything got pushed back, we were like Netflix and chill, Netflix and chill. But then we were like, okay, let's work. And we used to sit all day, all night doing all of this. And it was very difficult to, when we were seeing people, they were like cooking something, the dal kona coffee and everything. And we are here like, dude, we are just, going on anything that we can get and just staying in front of a screen for 10 hours a day. So that was like exhausting. But I think we just loved this
Yeah.
journey, or we just love this feeling of creating something new. That really was a primary factor, I think. Both Akshat and I
Yeah,
are
we
very
Absolutely.
passionate in that
we
regard.
had our lunch and dinner in front of Zoom
In front
call.
of screens, everything happened literally in front of Zoom.
Then what about your like social life other than you guys having each other? Like how did it affect your social life? Because I believe that before pandemic, yet you could have a social life, but here it is impossible. Like how would you connect with anybody?
I think I just have two words for that: non-existent.
What about you, Akshay?
I had a social life in between. Like, yeah, I sort of took a break in December for 15, 20 days. I was just looking over the system. So, yeah, I had a social life for 20 days. And then, yeah, it's all gone now. It's
So
work,
doesn't it
work,
get,
work.
so doesn't it get like quite tedious? Like just thinking about work all time, not having social life. I mean, doesn't it get boring at some point of time?
It doesn't
Yeah,
get
it
boring.
get it's
I would
it's
say,
not.
the yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead, go ahead.
no, it's not boring. We try to do new things. Like, yeah, when it feels like it gets boring, we change our interface. We keep changing our website to make it interesting.
So actually, it's there. No matter what business you start, you'll have clients. Some clients that will just not
Yeah, I got that.
be so smooth
They'll
with.
test your patience and your sanity both.
Exactly, and some work that we do for maybe we wrap up in 10 days. We even have that client. It's going on for 6 months and it's still going on. So it doesn't really get boring, but it irritates us. It's like we're almost on the verge of just snatching our hair and like, what is going on. So that sort of moments do keep happening, and they still happen. But then again, it's like you need to respect your clients and get it done. That is somewhere we don't compromise.
Customer Bhagwan hai.
Bhagwan. So
So what else is there that like what is the things other than your work that you guys do in your personal life? Like besides work, what is there that you do when you have extra time for yourself or anything like that?
Akshat, would you
Like
like to?
personally, I believe like people like me, we read enough free time. Like what do you guys do? Being all finance tech guys, like non-tech
I
guys. So what is it that
I
you do?
I just eat, and if I get time, I read. Like I was reading right now.
Yeah, so exactly that is what I was going to say. Akshat and I, like, we're really a fan of reading. We're habituated to it, but I think even that has steeply declined since the start of our project, because there's barely any time to even read a book, and we're just lucky to have a good night's sleep these days.
So what is the genre that interests you the most? Like self-help books, or what are the books that you guys read usually?
So books, anything sort of. I'm not mostly towards fiction. Non-fiction is sort of my genre, and anything in non-fiction, I think I'm interested in everything, like from philosophy to finance to biographies, self-help, everything.
Same with me.
I think one of the other
Obviously,
interesting
you guys
things
don't
that
have a particular genre.
no. So one of the other common interests that Akshat and I have, it's not possible right now, but we used to love going to these e-self fairs and entrepreneur these corporate fairs and everything. That's how we met. That's how we came to even your college. So we used to scan
Yeah.
the whole of city, and we used to be like, okay, this weekend where are these events happening? Whatever event, anything related to startup, anything related to entrepreneurship, business, anything, and we'd be like scanning the whole city, and any college, any trade fair, we just be there. We just be there.
Okay, so back when we met in like February 2020, you guys were
Yeah.
into something like the Three Monks. What was that about?
So that is still the so our company name is still the Three Monks. Bilzy is our brand name.
Okay,
I think,
okay.
yeah, we briefed you back then also. So the Three Monks
Yeah.
was essentially so we had a cultural idea that we had Bilzy, and we had one other project that we were supposed to start simultaneously back in March last year. But because of the pandemic, everything got delayed, and the second project is something that Akshat and I are more passionate about, more than Bilzy, and I think the most passionate about. But we haven't been able to start that project because it's just the two of us, and it's really difficult to firstly get this one running, and once this was running,
Mhm.
our colleges started. So currently we're just trying to balance that part out.
So, like, what are your future plans? Like, I get it that you are doing masters, and what about Akshat? Like, what are your future plans? Like, you want to study ahead, or you would just want to continue with your study?
I want to do both.
So we're both interested in learning as well. We both want
And
to do masters, we both want to continue our business, we want to even open our new businesses. So we even have that planned. Okay, what is going to be our next business?
it is still very difficult for me to believe that you guys are still so sane. Like, even more sane than I am after doing all the things that you guys do. It is really very plausible and it is really great. So, what is this like one thing that you would like to tell to people like who are doing startups, but and they are studying as well, but some people like they drop the idea because of their study. So, what would you like to advise to them?
See, there's no advice as such. The only thing that I can think of is I've been my student like since high school. Both Akshat and I have had some venture running. So if at all you're losing or dropping your idea, uh, using studies as a shield, I think you're just not passionate enough about it, or you're just unsure about execution of that idea. Because in our Indian education system, I don't think there's any reason that education or the pressure of education holds you back. And very honestly, I don't know about the maybe medical degrees, but be it engineering, be it commerce, be it even law, there's no subject in bachelor's that you cannot do in maybe 2 weeks time before the exam. Trust me on that.
Okay, okay. So, like, what is this one moment you would like to share with us, like, before your startup that got you into the idea of financing startups and all that, like, before you even met each other?
That's a great question. I don't really, I can't.
Yeah.
That's a really great question. I never thought of it.
I guess it was inborn.
Yeah, I think we've
Yeah.
seen our fathers, work towards something, and I think yeah, that is probably, I don't know, maybe that's a factor.
No, no, I mean, I don't mean like that. It's like who have their fathers who are already into running business and all, but still,
Okay.
like they are not so much into that. They're like, कि हाँ कुछ नहीं हुआ तो I'll go to my papa ka business, or else I'll study and I'll get a job. Like people don't think of coming up with their own startup even after seeing people from their own household doing the same. So what made you guys like do it?
I think we never had the fear of failure, either of us. And the other thing was we were very sure that we might manage our family businesses, because we've talked about all of this, that we might in future manage our family businesses, but we're not going to go into our family business as a career option from the beginning. So that was really the fundamental idea, that we'll do anything, but we'll do something of our own. Maybe it will fail. That fear of failure was never there. We had that trust. Okay, we failed in the past. I've had ventures that have failed. Akshat has had ventures that have had some mixed response. So
It was
it's
like
that.
कि ज्यादा से ज्यादा क्या होगा, फेल होंगे, एक्सपीरियंस मिल रहा है ना. It was like that.
And the other thing that helped was, it was all our savings that we've put into this. We've not taken 1 rupee from our parents. We completely bootstrapped, and in fact we worked, we did extra projects outside during the product building phase. We used to take contractual and freelancing work, so that we earn from that, and we finance our project from that money. So we were very very particular about building it from scratch. क्या होगा ज्यादा ज्यादा, that was the attitude. क्या होगा ज्यादा ज्यादा, बंद हो जाएगा ना, ठीक है, not the end of the world.
That is really like one of the very great attitude that I believe that people our generation should have. Like if they really want to venture into it, they should be like that. Because I would honestly say personally, even I'm very scared of failure. Like okay, I'll start something, but what if I fail at it? I'll just like drop in between and I'll jump onto the next thing. Like it is very difficult to stay focused and stay with the one thing that you're doing at the moment. So that's
I
really
think
very great.
that we really need to learn, how to uh, be humble during a loss, and how to recover from a loss, because that's something that I don't think we taught formally, informally, at any level.
Yeah, personal level, even I don't believe that people talk much about that. But that is like one
Exactly.
of the most important lessons that we should keep in mind while doing anything, like not just startup, but
Definitely,
anything.
definitely. Anything you pursue, there's a risk of loss, be it a
Yeah, that is
competition, be
true.
it anything.
So how do you maintain like what is your personal life like? Like work life is different and personal life is different. So what is personal life like? I've heard everything about work, like how do you guys do it? Like how are you up for so long? And you have your lunch and dinners on Zoom meetings. But what about personal life, like time with family or friends?
So yeah, I think we have a fair share of time with family. We don't really ration that part out of it. Personal life for me would be, I think, just food. I think that's the only thing. Even when I was in Mumbai, during my graduation and everything, besides all the work I used to do, there was just one thing that I used to plan for. I was 3 years in Mumbai, and I never visited any of the tourist spots. But I most certainly visited at least 100 cafes and 100 eating spots, because that was my thing. I was like, I need experience, and I need experience of all these good food and ambience. So I think that is the life that personally I have outside of work.
What about
Yeah, same as with me.
okay? So like other than that, like how was it difficult like coming all the way out of your comfort zone into a completely different city that you're like completely alone, no friends, no family. Like, how did you guys manage that?
That's a great question. I don't really know. Network building a network. I think that is. I think this was a word that we had coined back then. People talk about getting into their family business, but what we should really be talking about is building our business family. So,
Yeah.
in fact, Akshat, I and we have some of our friends. We used to be like a team. We used to help each other out. We're all of the entrepreneurial mindset, and we're 6 or 7 of us, and all of us have our own startups. We're all the same age. They're all either just graduated or in their graduation years, and they've all started something or the other, and we share resources. Our first 2 3 clients came from our networks, relatives, and similarly, that building a network is so important. We can't just stress on it. Network is what will get you through any problem.
Okay. What about you, Akshat? Like, even you are from a different state, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I when I came to Mumbai, it was like yeah, I had no friends. So yeah, I started going to e-summits. I started going to many fairs. So yeah, I started finding people, like-minded people. So yeah, that's what was there.
So like neither of you guys were either shy or like had the fear of talking to people, because a lot
Oh,
of people,
we're
like
very
I
shy.
have seen it
We're very shy.
when you come from a different state. Yeah, when you come from a different state into Mumbai city, so people have this misconception that people in Mumbai are going to be something like very braggy, and they are going to be like brats of, I don't know, they have this very bad misconception. So they're very shy and very scared to go and talk up to them. And I really don't get it why. So that, like initially talking to them, I agree it might have been difficult. But later when you actually get to know them, they're not that bad. They're friendly.
No, no, I don't think I personally ever had that misconception. And as far as I am concerned, I am shy. I am very reserved until and unless, maybe I'm vibe with the person in front of me, or our energy levels match. And then I'm like, okay, this guy is out of control. So the icebreaker still
Good.
remains a
Like
big
you just
problem.
get the vibe and you can talk.
So I think back when we came to VSIT, I don't think we were at all. We were just two guys sitting in the corner for I think the first half of the session, and then
Yeah.
suddenly that group activity or something came up, and then something led to the other. That's sort of what is our
Okay, so it's
strength or what
basically like, yeah, you guys are very open when people come and talk to you rather than you approaching them.
we can say. I don't know how to put that, but maybe yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the same with both of you guys. I mean, when I see you guys, like sometimes it is like you guys are so extreme. Like one is completely like I don't know how to put it in words, but you guys seem very extreme. But at the same time, you guys seem very same. Like I don't know, really, I really don't know how to put it in words, but you guys are different and same at the same moment.
So I'll put it into words. It's like, aligning our interests and leveraging our strengths, different strengths is what
That's
principle we
not
work
the way
on.
to put it, like more understandable.
Yeah.
It was like now you're coming to the end of it. I would just like to say that you guys are doing a really, really great job, and it was really fun talking to you. Like I didn't feel that you guys are introverted or shy, or you guys have any misconceptions about people from Mumbai or anywhere else. So it was really fun talking to you and getting to know like how you guys inspire other people. Like honestly, when we put it out there, I'll see many people who will watch this, and it is going to be really difficult. Like a guy from third year and first year, like right in college, you guys haven't even passed out. You guys are still studying and you guys have such an established startup. And one more thing that I admired about you guys is that you guys really have a very clear mindset. And you guys are not afraid of failure, which I really admire. And I'm very jealous of like and I envy you guys for that.
I don't think you should envy us. If you hear
Oh,
our
I don't
depressing
know.
conversations, you will realize we're the same. We just need that motivation, the pep talks.
Thank you so much for coming with us and talking. I mean, I know you guys are very busy, and also getting this time from you guys and knowing a real life story, it was really very inspiring.
Thank you for having us. It was a delight meeting you all again.
Okay, so